Hey now. Hey now, hey now, hey now. We are live. Turning the emote
We are
only
live
off.
and in your earballs.
Your earballs, damn. What about your eye drums?
Oh, we're slamming on those things all day.
We got myself, I got Jesse. June is stepped away to fill up her water bottle, but she will be with us shortly. And we're not ready to start the actual podcast yet, but let me go ahead and get the word out that I'm live.
Not quite ready for prime time.
Oh, this is over here. Okay. Got to post on like Discord and all that, you know. Ugh.
Unf.
This is the remix. This is the remix.
Remix.
Hey, Eighth. The word of the day is word. Word up, y'all.
Word up.
Everybody knows it's word up. You've got the chat open, right, Jesse?
I do.
Okay, we'll have to make sure that Jesse's there as well. You're Jesse. That June's got it open as well once she gets back. And, but right now I'm just working on getting the word out. So I'm going to post on all the Facebooks and everything. I am here, bitch.
It's more like I am here, bitch.
I am here, bitch. You like my AI voice?
Like a Moonanite.
I am here, bitch.
I am back.
Hey.
Okay, June is back. Hey, June, do you have? Make sure you have the Twitch open so that you can view the chat. And I'm just getting the word out that we're live.
Okay.
Hey, Riddle. This beast is bitchin'. This beast is bitching. Oh, yeah. Come on now. I love having the chat over here. It's just everything about this is great.
Oh yeah, when I get two screens, that'll actually make life a lot easier for me too for streaming.
Absolutely. Like I said, the hardest part about setting it up is just putting the clamp on the monitor. Like actually just like plugging it in and everything, and then it just automatically, like Windows detected it and knew what I wanted to do. And there's a few different ways you can configure it, but the way that was the default was pretty great. And hi, Riddle.
Yeah,
It's always
once
nice
I
when that
switch
happens.
to a second monitor, no, I don't want to go back.
Understandable. Although you have that like almost OCD-ish need for them to be the same size, right?
But yeah, it's like if I can't get in the same monitor, I would like at least I had them to be the same
Because
size.
the one that Ross sent me is appreciably bigger. But that kind of
That
works
would drive
out.
me absolutely insane.
It doesn't drive... Well, it would drive you insane, of course. It doesn't drive me insane. What does drive me insane is that because it's on a clamp instead of a stand, it's flat there, whereas the one that's on the stand is slightly tilted. So it gives kind of an optical illusion that makes it look like the new monitor is lopsided when it's in fact not. But it's not that big of a deal. Hey, Sarah.
Are you saying your second monitor has some jaunt?
It has some what?
Some jaunt to it?
It's a jaunty fellow. All right, let me finish my posts on Discord. And we're going to start as early as we can because we have to end to give... Because you know how we always end by 9, Jesse? Because of the Cartoon Club?
Right.
Well, June is the one that streams the Cartoon Club on Wednesdays, so we have to give her enough time to set up. So we'll probably end, like, say, at 10 minutes to 9 to give her enough time.
Yeah, you gotta playing double duty over there.
Yeah. So we'll give you a good 10 minutes, June.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're doing Sailor Moon tonight.
Ugh. And I'll be working on my second YouTube channel.
Yeah, some interesting questions people are posting in there, and not just. Well, I know you're kind of handpicked in the first episode, but I'm wondering what some of the dumb questions are.
I try not to pick the dumb questions for the YouTube channel.
Oh no! I was just curious.
Occasionally, I might put some in there. I've got 15 great, I think 14 or 15 great questions for this week's episode, and some of them were submitted by people that we know, like EB Agent, the one that I'm probably going to use for the title. And did Gollum eat babies?
Wait, I think he did.
He ate babies, yeah.
And yet he's a lovable, adorable character.
Well, the movies made him a little bit too cute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I guess because they really wanted to twist that knife when he turns on them in the very end, you know? Smeagol promised. Smeagol lied. It's a great line.
And ate babies.
and they taste good, precious. Yes. I go in.
I had the benefit the last time I was on List Critics. It's gotta be like at least a year or so.
You haven't been on List Critics.
Huh.
This is your first time. I've been wanting to have you, but in the past you had said that you didn't feel confident with your voice, but having this modulator and everything, and also from your time streaming, I think you've gained a lot of confidence, June.
Yeah,
and I knew it was
my
time.
Shitty headphones because I can't really use like my big fancy one for voice chat because
the tinnitus.
Well, for a lot of reasons, but part of it is my tinnitus.
Yeah.
I managed to find my cheap shitty headphones and I can just put those on, and I don't have to switch my hearing aid to telecoil mode. Okay. So I can just stay on regular mode and it doesn't affect my tinnitus too much.
Well, that's good. Okay, so with that song fading out, we're going to stop that and we're going to go over to the List Critics screen, which is right here. God, I still love that logo. I'm so proud of that logo.
You should be. It's a really good one.
You know what happened? I had the vision of a logo that came to me while I was showering, and I thought, I want to create that. And I was not able
what it looks like.
I wasn't able to get what it looked like in my head because what came out in Photoshop was so much better than what was in my head. I was like, oh, damn, that's dope, though. It's not what I wanted, but it's so good.
You know, when I see that logo, I think like a high-quality indie game intro screen.
Something like Hotline Miami, right?
Yeah.
Know what I think of? I think of an arcade in a mall.
Oh, there you go. You can play Mortal Kombat 2 on your first date.
Raiders of the Lost Arcade. That was the name of my local arcade, for real.
Of course it was. You hear that, Riddle? Raiders of the Lost Arcade. I want to make sure that Riddle heard that one. I want to just really let you know, Riddle. Raiders of the Lost Arcade. Okay, so welcome to the List Critics Remastered. I have Jesse as always, and our special guest host this month is June. Say hi, June.
Hi.
You were trying to think of something witty and then you had nothing, right?
Yes, I just fell back on the old standard of
hi. We're going to start, as we always do, with Tumblr Gets Deep. And,
let's get deep.
And there's 25 of them this time. Okay, so number one, Frog MP3 says, Europeans are so funny, literally like, I can't believe Americans don't have fresh bread. What the fuck are you talking about? And then Lassimus says, I can't believe Americans think their store-bought sliced bread is real bread. And then Frog MP3 said, there are bakeries in the United States. I'm not going to argue with a motherfucker about bread. Yeah, do they really think that we don't have bread? Like almost every country I know has some kind of bakery, right? I can't imagine that it would. I mean, they probably have bakeries in North Korea.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Bread is everywhere. It's the most basic staple of food.
Or maybe it's that whole, remember there was like some controversy about like the bread from Subway technically counts as cake in the UK because of sugar content.
Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
get over it. I hate when the images, the Tumblr screenshots are blurry because it always makes me think my glasses are dirty. Which, I mean, they are, but also this is just a blurry-ass screenshot for number 2. Let's see, what is this person's name? Veth, your halfling mother? Okay. Says, my biology professor has such chaotic energy about him. Last week I went to the office hours and somehow we ended up on the topic of gay marriage. He said that when he lived in Texas, they changed the law to define marriage as between a man and a woman in a house of religious worship with the intention to have children. So he filed his taxes as single. And when they called him up like, you filed married last year, he was like, you changed the laws. I was married by a judge in a courthouse and I have no intention of having kids. And they told him, you know what that law was for. And I guess he hung up on them and did not, in fact, pay taxes as a married man that year. Hey, Apple.
Wow.
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 Wait, hold your reactions because there is a little bit more. From Wolves and God says chaotic good. And then Swords Haped Leave says, no, this is lawful good. He is following the law. Chaotic doesn't just mean cheeky. And then Krevitz says, this is how... Oh, Barrel has told me about this. This is amazing. This is how Sweden stopped classifying homosexuality as an illness because people started a campaign of calling in gay to work. Malicious compliance is one of the best tools in the arsenal of civil rights activism.
I gotta say, this isn't malicious compliance. Hey, could you give me a link to this so I can read along?
Oh, okay. Yeah, normally I don't want co-hosts to link along to read along, but in your case, since I know you have a hearing problem.
Yeah, I very much appreciate it.
There you go. Just don't go ahead, okay?
Don't cheat.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. So can you imagine calling up your boss and saying, I can't come in today. I'm gay.
I've caught a big case of gay.
Yeah.
Man.
You say, I met this guy at a bar and, long story short, I can't come into work.
All I have to do is just say, move, I'm gay, and people just make a hole for me.
I remember Barrel talking about that they had that law. Like, this is real, that they had that law and people were, like, really calling in gay for work. Okay. Number 3, Carnival Phantasm says, you ever see a fully SFW, that's safe for work, artist draw a weirdly detailed armpit and you just know they just flew too close to the sun? And then Titanax posts a picture of a tweet from Sammy Pecco, says, trying to draw good feet, but not so good that people think I'm into it. And the guy's all like...
So basically, the anti-robbery failed.
Oh my!
But if you draw an armpit so detailed that you can think to yourself, "Can I fuck it?"
Oh,
then
I can't imagine being into armpits. I don't get that. But then again, I don't get the feet thing either.
Me neither.
But Rob Layfield has the opposite. So instead of foot fetish, he has like a foot phobia. Hi, EB.
Yeah, just never show them.
OTB. Hi.
Okay, so number 4, what even is this? Says, I wish Octopus could learn how to read. They could be pen pals with middle schoolers. And then they continue with a example. Dearest Samantha, I do not know what a guinea pig is, but it sounds delicious. I hope you have fun devouring it or playing with it if that is your preference. Today I hacked a local computer to get more bubbles in my tank and took a photograph of an unsuspecting victim. Do let me know how your human activities are going, and if this Karen continues to antagonize your brother, I would suggest smacking her very hard. And do send more canned snacks. Best wishes, Octopus number 5, Monterey Bay Research Aquarium. Dude, I want to be pen pal.
That's actually adorable.
Wait, why does it got to be limited to middle schools? I want to be pen pals with an octopus.
Why does it have to be limited to octopuses? Why not squids? They can provide their own ink.
It's because octopuses are really, really smart. That's why. Like all the things about taking pictures and hacking computers, like they've shown that they can actually do things like that.
That's cool.
They got to be like brutally practical too.
Yes.
It's like if you tell them, somebody is antagonizing your brother, that's just gonna how you eat them.
There was a story I read about a scientist who had an octopus in a tank, and he gave it like whatever food that octopuses eat, right? Some kind of fish. And then went into the other room. And apparently the octopus was so dissatisfied with its snack that because they can come out of water for a little while, you know? It came out of the tank, walked its little 8-legged ass into the other room, and threw the fish at him.
Nice. Yeah. Blech.
Here.
And then I went back.
Yeah, it has to go back to its tank. It's where the water is. Okay, number 5 starts with a picture of one of those like swan boat things. And, it's like, it's overgrown with like reeds, and it just looks like it's in disrepair, you know? And abandoned. And Urbeck says, amusement park in Berlin left to nature's devices, 640 by 480. And then Cosmonin says, it was left to nature's devices because the owner got caught importing a roller coaster with 180 kilos of Peruvian cocaine inside it.
Wow.
That's one hell of a way.
That's what happened to the Beach Water Park in Cincinnati, because my mom used to take me to that one like a lot, and then it just mysteriously shut down one day, and I've always wondered what happened.
Did you ever go on a roller coaster and get really fucking high?
I guess it gives a new term to riding the rails.
Oh, okay. All right. Number 6. Unnervingly Feral says, holy fucking shit, nobody told me that toddlers are this fucking easy to manage. They're like tiny drunk people, but on easy mode. They don't have phones or car keys, and they can't reach the stovetops, so it's a breeze to make sure they don't try to cook, drive, or text people who want both of you killed. And they're like half my size instead of twice my size, so if they're really hell-bent on doing something dangerous, I can literally just pick them up and carry them away from it. Their tantrums last like 3 minutes tops, their punches don't hurt, and they don't even know any slurs. And they actually like and respect you enough to say they're sorry once they've calmed down, and you tell them they shouldn't have taken it out on you like that. And you can just say that to their face. Both will babble complete fucking nonsense at you, but little kids will talk about way more interesting stuff and don't even start suspecting that you only understand every third word they're saying. This was supposed to convince me out of it, but small kids are hands down the easiest people I've had to handle. I want 7.
Whoa.
7 seems extreme.
That,
I mean, I will agree that
I can see the logic, though.
Yeah, it is easier to deal with a kid than a drunk. But that doesn't...
Yeah, you can just pick them up and, punch them over the 4-yard line.
Just yeet!
Whoa.
Oh, man.
Kick the baby.
Don't kick the goddamn baby. Number 7, Schmergo says, the Lincoln assassination is really just wild if you think about it for a moment. The younger brother of one of the most famous actors in the country, himself a famous actor and heartthrob in his own right, killed the president of the president in a theater and yelled "Sic Temper Tyrannus," a line often associated with Brutus, a character that his brother had famously played. Like, imagine if Liam Hemsworth killed the Prime Minister of Australia at a red carpet movie premiere or something and yelled, "I went for the head," and Chris had to leave the Avengers press tour to tell everyone, "I swear I had nothing to do with this." Imagine how weird that would be. And then PhDNA says, fuck off, PhDNA. A whole history major, and yet this post is the first time I fully appreciated the weirdness of the Lincoln assassination.
I'm sure.
Go ahead.
Somebody say something.
I was just going to say, I'm sure if you were to bring any like historical event into the present and just move the characters around, it would still be equally, if not more, weird.
Well, I think it's just it was weird at the time, though. That not only was the president shot but by an actor whose older brother is a really famous actor. It is really like if Liam Hemsworth killed the prime minister. And EB brings up a good point about the drunks versus toddlers thing. It's great to take care of toddlers, but maybe not full time.
Yeah.
It's one thing to babysit.
It's funny though when you think about history. Like, history is weird in general. Well, like, history is happening all around us every single day, and it's just destroying the fucking shit.
That's true. All right, number 8, Teal Deer says, you ever think about what absolute mad decadence we live in that vanilla means plain? And then Yordis Dunger, I think, Yordis, whatever the hell this says, And anytime anyone says it's just vanilla ice cream, I have to restrain myself from saying, ah, yes, the flavor produced by the seeds of a tropical orchid, a flower which blossoms for a single day before dying, the second most expensive spice in the world. Just that. Historically, the spices I have in my cabinet are an embarrassment of riches. I have there a large container of whole black peppercorns, which I grate fresh over my food, multiple containers of cinnamon, because I forgot I already had some, ginger, cardamom, red pepper flakes, whole cloves and ground, nutmeg and turmeric. Kings and emperors have not eaten food so well spiced. I have vanilla ice cream in my freezer, cold, frozen, when the rich would pay fortunes to send for ice from mountains to chill fruit in the summers. I'm going to put on my silk robe, fix myself a bowl, and feast.
I mean, that's going an awful long way to just say we got a lot of shit.
Well, I mean, I think the point is that vanilla is not like the neutral flavor that people think it is, and the reason is because of ice cream, because vanilla is actually so fucking expensive that there's very little vanilla in vanilla ice cream.
Well, yeah, I got a bone to pick with people who think vanilla is just plain because, like yogurt, for example. There is plain flavored yogurt, but my favorite flavor of yogurt is vanilla. And people think, oh, but it doesn't taste like anything. It tastes like vanilla.
It tastes like fucking vanilla. EB says all those spices and white people aren't using them.
All those spices that they invented half the planet for, and now refuse to eat.
And they're like, oh, that's too much flavor. All right.
Like salt and pepper is too spicy.
Number 9, and goddamn is this blurry. Anonymous asks, I recall at least one of you guys having worked with livestock animals. Why are cows so damn indestructible while horses keel over and die if Mercury is in retrograde or a dog barked in Kazakhstan? And then Ask a Vet Burr says, getting vetted here. Let me tell you a story about how livestock animals work. In the beginning, God created the horse. God looked at the horse and saw that it was beautiful and strong. However, God said, it breaks too easily. Then God created the cow. God looked at the cow and saw it was more durable than the horse and tasted good to boot. However, God said, it poops too much. Then God created the goat. God looked at the goat and saw that it was perfect. God looked around and saw that he still had some spare bits of fluff on his work table, but no brains to put into it. So then God created the sheep. Now let me tell you about my equine surgery professor said on the first day of class. Horses are only interested in 2 things, homicide and suicide. And that's about all you need to know about horses. And
that checks out.
And then Lizzie Does Vet Path says, except every goat is just waiting its turn to die of pneumonia. These people are all vets, is the thing here. And then Avoiding Clause Mostly says, sorry, I'm not over if a dog barked in Kazakhstan. And then Gallus Rostromegalus says, my entirely half-assed understanding of why horses explode if you look at them funny, as explained to me by my aunt that raised horses after her 3rd glass of wine. Horses don't got enough toes. So, back right after the dinosaurs fucked off and joined the Choir Invisible, the first ancestors of horses were scampering about, little capybara-looking things called Eohippus, and they had 4 toes per limb. They functioned pretty well, and near as we can tell from the fossil record, but they were mostly messing around in the leaf litter of dense forests, where one does not necessarily need to be fast, but one should be nimble, and the 4 toes per limb worked out pretty good. But the descendants of Eohippus moved out of the forest, where there was lots of cover, and onto the open plains, where there are better forage and visibility, but nowhere to hide, so the proto-horses couldn't zoom the fastest and out of their predators. Or at least their other herd members tended to do well. Here's the thing, having lots of toes means your foot touches the ground longer when you run, and it spreads out a lot of your momentum to the sides. Great if you want to pivot and dodge, terrible if you want to zoom. So losing toes started being a major disadvantage for proto-horses. Can't believe this is still going. The problem with having fewer toes and running really fucking fast is that it kind of fucks your everything else up. When a horse runs at full gallop, it sort of stops actively breathing, letting the slosh of its guts move its lungs, which is tremendously calorically efficient and means their breathing doesn't fall out of sync. But it also means that the abdominal lining of a horse is weirdly flexible in ways that lead to way more hernias and intestinal tangling than other ungulates. It also has a relatively weak diaphragm for something its size, so any kind of respiratory infection is a major fucking problem. because the horse has weak lungs. When a horse runs real fucking fast, it also develops a bit of a fluid dynamics problem. Most mammals have the blood going out of their heart really fast and coming back from the far reaches of the toes much slower, and its structure reflects that. But since there is only the one toe, horse blood comes flying back up the veins towards the heart way the fuck faster than veins are meant to handle, which means horses had to evolve special veins that constrict to slow the blood down, which you will recognize as a major cardiovascular disease in most mammals. This poorly regulated blood speed problems mean horses are prone to heart problems, burst veins, embolisms, and hemophilia. Also, they have apparently 1 billion blood types, and I'm not sure how that's related, but I'm sure that's another hot mess they have to deal with. Okay, there's like 7 more paragraphs. I'm just going to skip down to the very last reply. Dr. Tanner says, horses are so incredibly fucked up, and we didn't even make them like that.
I was going to say, I think we learned something today, but my eyes glazed over halfway through that. I forgot what we were even talking about.
Horses are fucked up.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's all. I didn't know that when they gallop that they're not breathing and they're just letting their sloshing guts inflate and deflate their lungs.
That's incredible.
That's fucked up.
That's incredible. Nature is beautiful.
Nature's beautiful and fucked up. Riddle,
and disgusting.
Yeah, Riddle says their own professor said God made the horse while he was drunk.
Beautiful and fucked up is how I like my woman.
Me too. All right, number 10. What the hell is this a picture of? It looks like an X-ray of it's a hammerhead shark. So 6pence just posts this weird fucking picture, and it says X-ray of a hammerhead shark. So I cannot reblog this since I commented on her family's child slave once, and she made me mad with some bullshit post about Greek culture, but I just wanted to say this is me when I accidentally sniff bleach.
What, huh?
There was a lot of information. What?
I don't quite understand.
I don't either. Okay, number 11. Gooey posts this, and to think I wanted to kill you 2 times in this quarantine, you've become my friend. I love you, Manuel. And shows a picture of a really fucking large rat in their bathroom. And then Hung Wee just posts, the rat said this. I just want you to imagine, Jesse, a rat the size of a small dog.
Oh, that's a big rat.
That's a chongus.
That's a big rat.
Yeah. That's a big rat. That's like a New York rat.
No.
Yeah, that's a rat that could drag away a toddler from one of the previous posts.
This is Master Splinter.
Secret of Nim.
It's the secret of Nim, yeah. Number 12. T-Berry Blue posts, dogs and women. I was walking to the train station after work today, and I heard a guy's voice shouting, Hey, pretty, you're so pretty, come here. Come here, aren't you going to give me a kiss? Yeah, you, come on and give me a smooch, you pretty thing. Disgusted, I turned around ready to knock some heads together and saw he was talking to a tiny French bulldog being walked by another man. And it hit me with sharp clarity just how much a man catcalling a woman sounds like a man talking to a dog. There's literally no distinction.
I want to argue with that through the distinction.
Okay, let's hear it.
When you don't get the when a guy doesn't get to pet the dog, he doesn't call the dog a bitch.
But
the irony.
But a female dog is called a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he would just move on with his day.
You know, I can't remember the last time I've heard anybody catcall anybody else like in the wild.
I have, and it was fucked up.
Like, people still do that?
Well, it was in the 90s, but yeah, I did see it happen.
Somebody did it to my mother. I was walking with my mom, and someone drove by and catcalled my mom.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I was, like, really young. I was, like, maybe 9 or 10, and I had no idea what just happened.
Yeah.
And Mom just kind of rolled her eyes.
And if anybody wants to know about that previous post with, like, you know, the child slavery comment and all that, EB is posting all the details in the chat right now. All right. Number 13, Cryptotheism. I hate this person already. Says, I like that kids just have trans classmates now and they don't give a shit. It's like having a classmate with red hair to them. Like, mildly notable. Anyway, back to Fortnite. And then Bees with Sword says, in high school 3 years ago, I used they, them pronouns. The popular girls all used my pronouns. I was objectively weird and uncool, but they told me I was a good listener. They invited me to hang out or study with them. They offered me weed. We sat outside at prom and talked about the nature of high school and the future. I never felt unwelcome. I was never a joke. The popular girls who invited me to hang out had their boyfriends who never used a pronoun in their lives, and suddenly there was peer pressure to be their best self and understand others. So these guys with big trucks and a spot on a sports team, they'd be offering me a ride to the bus stop and asking me questions about gender. High school is getting better because high schoolers are getting better. Young people are awkward and stupid, but many of them are still more empathetic and understanding than their parents.
Yeah, shit just takes time.
Sometimes it takes a little too much time, but
right.
it's true. The kids are all right. Yes. Okay, number 14, Fanfic Meme says, my fave fans are the ones who are like, yeah, this show would be so good if it wasn't for lists the entire show. And then leader of all gays, I didn't know they had a leader, says, it would be so good if the writers didn't do gestures vaguely. That. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. Yeah.
Number 15, Claire Necessities. I wish they had spaces. I really do. Claire Necessity says, there's something endlessly hilarious to me about the phrase hotly debated in an academic context. Like, I just picture a bunch of nerds at podiums, and one's like, of course there was a Paleolithic bear cult in northern Eurasia. And another one just looks at him in the eye and says, I'll kill you in real life, Kevin.
Nice.
And then Crockpot Cauldron says, the Milton scholars screamed and argued about how the serpent was supposed to move before it crawled on its belly. Dr. Matthews, enraged that Dr. Goldstein could believe the serpent bounced around on the coiled end of its tail, flipped over the conference table. Satan is not a fucking pogo stick, he howled.
That's pretty good.
Can you imagine a snake like in Q*bert, right?
Yeah, that purple thing, coily.
It's amazing.
Nothing close.
Satan's not a fucking pogo stick. I mean, how do you know that? Were you there? I will say that through the work that I've been doing as a Tolkien scholar, I can tell you that it gets pretty weird when people disagree about things.
Oh yeah, they'll go to dark places.
It's so weird. All right, number 16. The dial-up says, I couldn't be a cowboy because I'd be stuck with my partner in the dead cold prairie night, and our horses would be tied up, and we'd be huddling around a crudely made fire because it was too far to go back to the ranch, and he'd play the sweetest song on his harmonica, the kind that you felt in your bones and your heart, and that the hymns had nothing on. And then he'd finish, and we'd both lean in a little too close, and my hand would be on his bandana, and his whiskey breath would be hot on my lips, and I'd realize that maybe it wasn't the touch of a woman I'd been hankering for. And then they replied to themselves saying, yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know what the fuck possessed me here. Dude, I think you just came out of the closet.
Yeah, that went in
Yeah.
took a hard left.
Oh my god. That's amazing. All right, here's a name that is familiar to us. Number 17, Fart Gallery says,
Hey.
I was feeling silly. We've seen this name so many times on List Critics. I was feeling silly at the gas station today, so I said to the cashier that I'll take my gas to go. I could see her imagining what that would be like to jump over the counter and strangle me to death.
That's a joke, and the name together is awesome.
All right. Well, Fart Gallery has had many amazing posts in the past. We've enjoyed his work. I'll take my gas to go. All right. Madness of Men replies, hashtag when the bookstore guys ask me if I want a bag for my book and I tell them no thanks, I'll eat it here.
That's good. That's good.
That reminds me of that episode of Star Trek The Next Generation when Q asks Worf, oh, you look good, Worf. Eat any good books lately?
Yeah. All right, number 18 here. Jim here posts, I'm sorry, this is a tweet from Jim, but it's being posted by PR Guitar Man. You wake up, You're still a lizard sunning on a red rock. It was all a dream. The concept of analytics, algorithms, and view counts is already losing its meaning as you open and lick your own eyeballs to moisten them. Time to eat a bug. And then Rosie-ish says, OP paid about $215 for blue check marks on this website. And then D. Stara Nacht says, show some fucking respect. That's the guy who invented Nyan Cat.
Like,
I'm gonna have to take their
I
word
think it
for
might
it.
actually be.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take their word for it on that. Well, in that case, let's all punch him.
Oh, Nyan Cat is adorable for like 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's about the limit. Of course, there's a 12-hour mix on YouTube. Number 19, Sketch Death says, I was explaining to my mom on the phone the concept of a cosmic horror, and she hit me with the one-hit KO of, oh, you mean like Horton Hears a Who? God damn, that's... And then Pensive Tense just posts that famous comic strip of the guy going, I guess!
I don't know that one.
Well, it's just this grumpy-looking guy, and then he throws up his hands and goes, I guess!
I guess.
And then Remus Sanders is the bestest, says, explain? And there is no explanation. All you have to do is just think about it. Horton Hears a Who does technically fall into the avenue of cosmic horror.
But what is cosmic horror?
Like Cthulhu and shit like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah. All right, number 20, Mag200 post, there really is something in how AI art can't get human hands right versus some of the oldest art we have is our handprints on a wall. I'm not going to write the poem, you get it, the themes. Hashtag edit this post. Edit this post is not fucking about whether you're good at drawing hands or not. Relax. I heard this thing that there are criminals who are, I don't know if this is true, but it's a stupid article. They're wearing something that looks like an extra finger on their hand. That way they can say that any image of them committing a crime is AI generated.
Really? Like,
yeah.
Like that'll get them past it, okay.
Well, it calls the evidence into question and creates a doubt. You know? If your evidence can't be trusted because, you know, fake fingers, that I don't know, it could work. I don't know if it's going to have any basis in court or not.
There's got to be some way they can, I don't know, generate it or figure it out to know if it's generated or not.
I guess. But the thing is, like, can you convince a jury 100% that it's not?
Reasonable doubt.
When you start seeing... Yeah, exactly. When you start seeing some weird-ass hands with, like, extra fingers coming out of the middle, you know? All right. This is number 21. What even is this? As newborn babies all have terrible eyesight, so their brains don't have to process as much information. Which I think is a little bit funny. Nature was like, look, we get it. There's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of pores on your dad's face. You have no idea what a hand is. Don't worry about the pores for now. Just figure out in general what a hand is, and then maybe we'll pump it up to high res. And then 5-Man Walt says, I only got a decade or so of high res life before my eyes were like, actually, that's enough. Pack it in.
I just never got the update.
Yeah. Well, you kept getting updates, but they were like the kind of updates that break your shit, right?
Yeah, they just they're poking holes in it.
All right. Number 22. Blessed Images blog posts this picture of what got to be the tiniest lizard I've ever seen. It's crawling on this man's thumb. But it's so ridiculously tiny. And it says, the Virgin Islands dwarf gecko, Spherodactylus parthenopeon, is one of the smallest terrestrial vertebrates. And the original person posting it says, blessed gecko. And then Duck Bunny says, he's got bones in there.
No, I want to say something here. I'm really impressed at how you spelled out the Latin name now.
Well, I'm used to weird pronunciations and names like that. Thank you, June, for pointing that out. It looks like it's like barely more than the size of a grain of rice.
So, like, does it have one vein and that's it?
That's all you need, right? That's all you need, just the one. It's like a cock push-up. You only need to do one.
All it counts.
Number 23, Pro Copet says, Fact 1, in most versions of Dungeons & Dragons, when infected, as opposed to natural-born lycanthropes transform under the new moon, they assume the default alignment of their type during the ensuing mindless rampage. Fact 2, in most versions of Dungeons & Dragons, the default alignment of werebears is lawful good. Conclusion, when an infected werebear transforms under the full moon, they go on a mindless lawful good rampage.
Oh, they be some do-gooders like that guy that tells you to put out your fires and shit.
Smokey the Bear?
Yeah.
But it's a bear turning into a wolf and goes on a mindless, lawful good rampage. And
That's
I
funny.
think that
Not what a werebear is. But...
I think that, well, I know what a werebear is, but I'm just saying that if you did that, if you tried to make that happen in a Dungeons and Dragons game, I'm pretty sure that the DM is allowed to smack you.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I would have to get Star to confirm.
There's more to the Spinach production says picking up litter and helping direct traffic. Maple Hoofs goes to the same place that Jesse did. Smokey the Bear.
Yeah.
And then Nudity and Nerdery says, oh my gods, who built this orphanage in the middle of the night? This is all set up to building code.
Perfect.
Oh, man. All right, number 24. Skygenders here says, how do I explain to my cat that stepping on my boobs hurts? And then Cat writes, feel okay to me. Feet do not hurt. And then Official Boob Post writes, official boob post.
That's great.
I didn't see that coming. That was a good one. All right. And finally, number 25, Landerus here says, let's have phone sex over walkie-talkies. And then R9er says, bend over. Bend what? Over.
Yeah, that's a big Texas size 10-4 right there.
I like it. Bend over. Bend what? Over. That's amazing. Okay, out of 25, I gotta give. It was good. The horse one went on way too long, but I'm gonna give it a 23. What do you say, Jesse?
21.
June.
I kind of want to say like 21.
20,
But,
okay.
but I'll tell you, I did actually like the horse one. Mostly because it was so long, but it was like one of those South Park jokes where the joke is just long enough to be too long, and it's funny the entire time.
Keeping in mind that I skipped another 4 paragraphs.
Yeesh.
Okay, there was more to that, but I'm like, all right, we're eating up a lot of time here.
Horses are weird. We get it.
Yeah. Okay, from Pleated Jeans, I also have 25 tweets everyone should have read this week. Starting with CO's. Oh, wait, let me send this to you, June, so that you could follow along. We have to respect our disabled friends. Okay, and I lost the there it is. Okay, so CO San writes, bruh, I went to this gas station to buy some gummy bears, and when I was leaving, I noticed this woman kept looking at me, so I said, hey, how you doing? 5 seconds go by, and now we're just staring at each other, and I mumble under my breath, okay, so this woman ain't... And there's a picture included, and she's the security guard.
Okay.
Womp, 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 womp.
Looking at it closer, that's not even a security guard, that's a cardboard cutout.
Oh, damn, that's a really realistic looking cardboard cutout.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
I didn't even know. No, honestly, like, that looks like a real person. Damn, that's funny. That's even funnier. All right, number 2, John Summit says, not this old hag sitting next to me on my flight asking what I do for a living, and when I say DJ, she responds, always good to try things when you're young before getting a real job.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Okay, to answer the question Sarah asked, how high was the OP? They were at a gas station buying gummy worms. What the fuck do you think? They were all the high. Let's see, number 3, love can look like anything, and then shows a text exchange with basically just the same 2 emojis posted over and over again, the smiling, laughing, and the flame, and they're all heart reacted. So basically one person in the relationship is just texting emojis and the other is reacting with emojis.
Very strange, but it probably makes sense to them.
Yep. Number 4, Katie Delaney says, do we have all that? Let's try that again. Do we all have that friend that when you go out with them, it feels like they're the local politician who knows everyone on Earth, and you're their weird mute friend who just left the house for the first time in 8 years and is learning to smile again?
Yes.
I think I've been both sides of these.
I have been on both sides of this. Yes, absolutely.
I've only been on the mute side.
Number 5, DJ Fuck. I just want to say, amazing name. DJ Fuck says, to tweet is human, to delete is divine. Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. So Jimmy here posts a picture that says, a life goal of mine, travel to all 7 countries. And they just wrote, oh, that's not... I think they might
almost there.
They might have meant continents, but
almost there.
Yeah, almost close enough.
You tried.
Number 7, Trash Jones says, a relationship should be 50-50. You take me to the museum and I point at all the weird little guys in paintings and say, that's you. That's accurate, though. Yeah. Number 8, Temyen Ima Along says, I'm amazed at the creativity of our village people, Zurui Hai. And then it shows a picture of the sign that says, drive slow, see our village, drive fast, see our judge.
Yeah. That's like something some of the towns around here would have up.
Did you? What was that gag you had, June, about like respect the speed limit, or? And then there was some like really weird non sequitur in there. I don't remember. Oh, God, you used to say it all the time.
God, I don't even remember.
It was from this conversation we had. We were just shouting sign names at each other, trying to make each other laugh.
Yeah, it was something like, welcome to Foxford on Avon, please drive carefully.
All right, number 9, Megan says, my kid told me one of his teachers was born in 2000, and why would he say something so hurtful?
Oh.
Ouch.
No. I can feel myself aging.
It's like the end of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The guy picks the wrong cup.
Yeah.
Chose poorly. I've been feeling myself aging for the past 40 years.
Oh, shut up. No, number 10, the notorious JOV says, top luxury find. It's a dresser painted to look like a Marlboro cigarettes package.
Oh, boy.
Which you could buy from this, whatever app this is, for $175.
I mean, if you like kitsch.
It's hella kitschy, yeah. If you think this is too good, I've got some crap. All right, number 11.
The other question I have is why?
I have more questions than that, but they all basically boil down to why, right?
The answer is because.
Yeah. A says the last year has been the longest 3 decades of their life.
Oh, yeah.
All right, number 11, Xavier says, I skip Instagram stories too fast and end up voting on things by accident, so sorry if I said your cat was ugly.
Is that a thing?
I don't use Instagram, so I have no idea how it works.
Yeah.
All right, number 12, Sarah Schaefer says, God bless the person who wrote this caption in Triangle of Sadness. And it's a guy naked on a toilet, and the caption, the closed captioning just says, diarrhea flows.
Doesn't it, though?
By the way, I got June. I got Mom with that joke from The Last of Us, where I said, diarrhea is
okay.
Diarrhea is hereditary.
Had you heard this joke before?
What?
Okay,
What?
did you know that diarrhea is genetic? It's hereditary.
I'm saying that joke right now.
Oh.
So I got her with it. Where it was? Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes.
Ah, clever.
Yeah, it was in The Last of Us. So. All right, number 13, Han here says, literally every person is messed up, so pick your favorite train wreck and roll with it. Shit, that's what I've been doing the whole time.
Mode.
Just close your eyes and hope you come out the other side.
Okay, to answer Apple's question, because this is Apple's first time being at List Critics. List Critics is an informal podcast I do once a month with a rotating. It's always me and Jesse and a rotating third person where we just look at lists on the internet and critique them, and that's really all there is to it. It's just nothing more glamorous than that. So, Number 14, this person's name on Twitter is a symbol, so screw them. And they write, if anyone has any experience with anything or knows anything about something, please let me know.
Mood.
All right, number 15, McMermaid says, I want a Viking funeral, but will likely never be able to afford a mighty ship, so just push me out to sea on a unicorn floaty and maybe stick a sparkler in my butt. I don't know.
That's a Viking of a different color.
Damn, you ain't shit for that one. All right, number 16. Number 16, Rose Damu says, having a second cup of coffee before noon, and then a picture of, I think that's Sarah Jessica Parker, in the caption says, maybe some women aren't meant to be tamed. Okay. Moving on, number 17, Tig Notaro says, I can relate to blenders because I also scream while doing my job. Mood.
That's good.
That's good. Number 18, G here says, me watching my family argue and thinking it would make a great Succession episode. Just a guy like, Number 19, Meh-Guyver. Meh-Guyver says, hi everyone, welcome to Ventriloquist Club. The first rule here is we do not talk about Ventriloquist Club with your lips moving. Just a little joke to get us started. Obviously, the first rule is don't fall in love with your puppet.
Oh.
Is that a problem? Is that something that happens a lot?
I can't imagine it happening, but let's just say sometimes you got your hand up a dude's ass and you get wood.
Oh, I get it. Like a penis.
Yeah. I mean, the joke is more about that you put your hand up the ventriloquist's ass. All right, number 20. This is the same person who's just a symbol, and just writes one of those circular flow charts, and it just says, I forget. There's nothing else to it. You just forget.
Oh my god, that's me the past 3 years.
It's like a loading circle in your brain, right? Number 21, Yard Dad says, part of being married is asking the other person, where are you going, every time they stand up. Jesse, is this why you got divorced?
That's like being a dog.
No, being a dog is like, where are we going? There's a distinction there. Number 22, Reb here posts, what I like about hippos being the most dangerous animal in the world, they're vegetarian. Not even omnivores. They don't want to eat you, they just hate you. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Just eating out of spite.
Well, they don't eat you, they just kill you.
Oh. Yeah. Well, how do they do that?
Yeah.
They just push you?
No, they just fucking bite the shit out of you.
Oh, okay. I guess Hungry Hippos does have a meaning to it.
Well, they ate the marbles, right? Number 23, Kristen Merrily says, when you get sent TikToks to watch, it's like friend homework. Yo. That's real, though.
Oh, man, yeah. Especially when you don't have TikTok like me, and then
so
just...
watching it on the fucking browser. And...
Yeah.
Number 24, Brona C. Titley says, as a kid, a kid at Soft Play asked about our family. And I told her my toddler had 2 mums. She immediately said, why not 3? And honestly, it's a great question. We'll talk to my wife about it tonight.
Whoa, okay.
That escalated
Yeah,
quickly.
that checks out.
Developments.
And finally, number 25, Julia says, saw a TikTok of a woman saying she falls asleep at night by picturing a blank Google Doc. Wait, hold on. Wait, does this work? Maybe I should try it. Holy shit, I got to find out. I'll let you guys know when it doesn't work. Out of 25, what do you say, June?
A couple of stinkers in there, but I'm going to give it a solid 23.
Jesse?
I'm on board with 23 as well, actually. Pretty strong. Yeah,
I'm going to agree. That's going to be a unanimous 23 for us. Okay, so let's get over to the lists that people have submitted on the List Critics channel on our Discord. And normally I do ask that you guys do not follow along, except that June you can because of your hearing. But okay, let me try and go up a little further here because I want to start with where we left off. I did delete a bunch of stuff out of here because we were using the List Critics channel for when I was doing that tier list stream. But I think we're going to start with... there's 2 lists here submitted by EB, both from Listverse. And the first one here is 10 bizarre video game marketing campaigns. So there's been some weird Do you remember like one of the Resident Evils, they planted like fake body parts all over a city?
Yes! And they got in mad trouble for that.
And you know what's fucked up about that is that not all of them were found.
The truth is out there.
There's still some like, fake bloody arms or eyeballs or whatever out there that haven't been found, right?
Or what about, I wonder if one of these is going to be that, something about the box, there's like, you got to like solve some box bullshit. I don't know, something about the Xbox. Fuck it, I forget.
I don't know.
Let's get to the list.
Okay, so number 10, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 issues a fake terror alert. So, yeah. Let's see. The makers of Call of Duty went too far when they live tweeted that a terror attack was taking place in Singapore. The false claim was only a publicity stunt to introduce their new game, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And I'm thinking, and I don't remember that game having a part in Singapore.
Also, like, read the room. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. That's terrible. Number 9, Electronic Arts causes gridlock in London with Mercenaries 2 World in Flames. Let's see, what did they do? The plot of Mercenaries 2 is Who Cares? Since the plot also involves Venezuelan oil facilities, the marketers of the game actually tied the game to a physical gas station, or maybe they were trying to set the world aflame for real. We may never know for sure. One thing we know is that there was a marketing stunt to promote the game that involved £20,000 worth of free fuel at a single gas station.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Why would you do that?
I mean, it sounds like good almost, like we're giving away free gasoline, right? But yeah. Have you ever seen what it's like when people hear there's free anything?
I mean, I could fill my car up twice with that.
With £20,000 worth. Oh dear. Number 8, Zynga vandalizes city sidewalks with counterfeit money. So let's see, what did they do? So they were promoting their game Mafia Wars. The company glued fake promotional bills to the sidewalks of Manhattan. This is nothing but vandalization of public property. But who cares? Right?
Wouldn't it be littering too? Like, well, they're just throwing shit around?
Yeah, but they're not throwing. They're gluing it.
Yeah.
That's weird. At one point, the San Francisco City Attorney's Office had to open an investigation into the ignominious... Wait, why would the San Francisco City Attorney's Office have to open an investigation of something that's happening in New York City?
Maybe it's the only place that can handle it?
The link they provided, and apparently it wasn't just New York City. They did it in cities all over.
Huh. I mean,
They started in San Francisco.
All right. I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's written really badly.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 7, Electronic Arts stages protests against its own game. Because that always works. This was Dante's Inferno, where they faked that they were, I guess, angry Catholics or something, you know?
I think I vaguely remember this.
But you know what?
Yeah,
This is actually really, really good marketing, though, because it happens all the time, like movies, games, or whatever, where they'll have a fake protest, and it always works out well because people are like, oh, let's see what the hubbub is about, you know?
No such thing as bad press.
Yeah. The fake Christians protest for the game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Splinter Cell conviction roleplay leads to police intervention. You shouldn't roleplay Splinter Cell, ever. So let's see. Splinter Cell Conviction is an action-adventure game that emphasizes stealth. However, the promotional stunt for the game went too far and nearly led to death. In Auckland, New Zealand, a man with bandages on his hand threatened the patrons of a bar with a fake gun, and police were immediately called to the scene. So I guess, he almost got shot, and they were like, it's just a fucking stunt, and
Just a prank, bro.
That's terrible. I was at a Queensryche concert where it actually started with like the MC coming and talking, and then this dude came around waving a gun and screaming and shit. But we were like warned beforehand that it was part of the show. You know what I mean? So nobody like freaked out. You know.
But still, what if there was like a second guy? Like, you never know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Number 5
I
is
think what strikes me about this is this happened in New Zealand. If it had happened in the United States, that guy probably would have been dead before the cops even showed up.
Dead. Number 5 is one of my favorites, that Bethesda offered free Bethesda games for life to the first person to name their child Dovahkiin, which happened, by the way.
Really?
Yes. So check this out. Megan and Eric Kellermeyer welcomed their baby November 11th, 2011 at 6:08 p.m. You might note that that's the release date of Skyrim. And they did name her Dovahkiin. They call her Dova for short. But that's not so bad, right?
Kind of a badass name.
Yeah, it's not so bad. I mean, the kid's going to hate it, but, you know, you can just change your name later on.
That kid probably got bullied so bad.
Number 4, Resident Evil 6 experiments with a weird meat. Weird meat. That's my biography. No. In order to promote Resident Evil 6, Capcom decided to embark on a very unusual promotion tactic. What did they do? So they created a butcher shop with meat that looked like human flesh, and it was called Wesker and Son.
Oh, wow. They're really going far.
It was real meat. It was not human meat, but they made it look like human body parts. It was open for 2 days.
That's pretty fucked up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you get a burger there, and then you wind up with the fucking T virus.
Like, just promote the game, guys.
If Resident Evil 6 was good, they wouldn't need to do this shit.
Hey.
I liked Resident Evil 6, but yeah, it wasn't that good.
It's
my condolences.
Aggressively mid. All right, number 3, Acclaim painted pigeons for Virtua Tennis 2. What does painting pigeons have to do with Virtua Tennis 2?
Of all things to run a promotion for.
So they painted a bunch of pigeons and then released them over Wimbledon. I don't know why they needed to be painted.
My favorite joke I had about DIY goth. You would just like grab a bunch of pigeons and paint them black so they could be crows.
There you go. Well, from the picture, it looks like they did in fact paint the pigeons black. So. Number 2, Acclaim offers to pay parents to name their child Turok. And so this was different than the Bethesda one. They were actually offering a cash prize of $10,000 to the first parent to name their newborn child Turok, and this was to promote Turok Evolution, which you might know is not Turok 1 or 2 and is therefore bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried it and
yeah, not a good game. All right, let's see. Number 1, Mass Effect 3 discs shot into space.
Whoa!
So the aliens can be disappointed too.
Hey! They have to download the new ending.
Oh, God. That's so dumb. Oh, man. So basically, they shot these fucking discs into low orbit, and then I guess the first person to find it would get some kind of prize.
Hooray!
Yeah. They would get all available copies on a first-come basis. That's dumb. So out of 10, 6? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna give it a 6 because for one thing, it's poorly written.
It's very badly written, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a third 6. So do with that what you wish.
666. All right. Okay, EB also sent me top 10 best video game consoles that bombed. So consoles that didn't sell well, but they're good for some reason or other.
Saturn,
now,
maybe?
Moogle, we always start list critics at 7. Actually, a little bit before 7. Because of the Cartoon Club. Okay, so number 10 is the Neo Geo. I mean, the fucking thing cost $600. What did they expect?
The games were so expensive too.
Yeah. They never really wanted to make like a home console. It was just something that people were wanting, and they were like, it's going to be really pricey. And they're like, we're rich and stupid, do it.
People bought it.
Yeah.
Not many, but they did.
Yeah. Number 9 is the N-Gage. Now, I thought we were going to talk about good consoles.
Yeah. In order to change games, you have to lose all your progress.
You also you need a screwdriver.
Yeah.
And it's a phone that was a shitty phone that you had to hold to your head like a taco.
Phone.
Number 8 is the Atari Lynx. Once again, I thought we were talking about good consoles.
Not as bad as you think. I've tried a bunch of Lynx games. Not always the worst.
I mean, there's two kinds of Lynx games. There's the really, really bad ones, and there's the shitty arcade ports.
Yeah. I think the Lynx was kind of a victim of the time it came out.
Didn't this thing also take like a ridiculous amount of batteries and sucked them dry real fast?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so did the Game Gear.
Also, Alice is saying, your quote, they're not always the worst. You put that on the fucking box.
Sorry, I lost connection for a second because my headphones ran out of juice.
Oh, I didn't notice. Alice was saying that when you said the Lynx was not always the worst, that you could put that on the fucking box. Number 7, the Wii U. I think that the Wii U, if it was called anything but Wii U, it might have done better.
It's also just
agree. It like sometimes I have to get the Wii U even exist, but it's like fine. There's nothing really offensive about it.
No, it's just Nintendo assumed that people were looking for the next Wii, and they really weren't. But they could have just called it anything else. Like if they called it, I don't know, Switch, it would have done fine.
But also, I found the controller to be really gimmicky. Like it was fine, but it was also kind of gimmicky.
And EB points out, most people didn't figure out that it wasn't a Wii add-on until it was far too late. Number 6 is the Game Gear. I mean, it's basically a handheld Master System. That's pretty fucking cool, but there was no way it was going to compete with the Game Boy with its high price and its, sucks off batteries faster than Beavis.
Oh, yeah. I actually had a Game Gear,
and that
thing went through batteries in like 2 hours.
Yeah. It was cool, though. It was a good console. It's not like the Lynx where I'm going to talk shit. Game Gear is good. Number 5 is the TurboGrafx 16. I think that's like the poster boy for really good consoles that didn't perform all that well. TurboGrafx was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was a pretty dope console.
Number 4 is the Neo Geo Pocket Color, which I think once again, releasing a handheld that's not Nintendo, you're putting yourself in the firing range, but Neo Geo Pocket Color is pretty sweet. There's a lot of great games on it. A lot of them are on Steam now.
Yeah, it's a great little console.
Absolutely, a lot of fun. Number 3, the Master System. I mean, it's just a consoleized Game Gear. The Master System actually did really well in some parts of the world, South America and Australia especially, but
Brazil.
South America. It just did not do well in the important America and Japan regions, and Europe didn't give a shit.
The Master System continued to be popular in South America even after the Genesis came out, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's still popular because there are still these weird indie devs that are making games for it.
Wild.
Yeah, and Moogle brings up the point that Europe didn't care about consoles at that point. They all had, gaming PCs.
Yeah, they had like MSX and stuff like that. They had
MSX, Amiga, yeah, all kind. Number 2, the PlayStation Vita. I mean, what a great console that Sony gave up on pretty much the next day after it came out.
It's unfortunate because it's so powerful.
I pre-ordered one of these things, and I was so pissed at how quickly they just dropped it.
Yeah. And number 1 is the Dreamcast, which, I mean, the Dreamcast, technical issues aside, it was a pretty good console that came out at the absolute wrong time because the PlayStation 2 just shit all over it.
I have a hot take. I don't think the Dreamcast was all that good of a system.
Well,
I think anything the Dreamcast could do, the PlayStation did better.
Well, of course, but the fact was it did have some great games at the time. And yeah, you can get them on like any other console now. But at the time,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. But weird controller, not well put together, and then on top of that, the PS2 comes out and shits all over it. You know what I'm surprised is not on this list, because I mean, we talked about some of the weird choices, like N-Gage does not belong on here,
No.
but the PSP does.
Ooh, yeah.
PSP
There's some good
does.
stuff on there.
The PSP is even though the Vita was the better version, the PSP was the better version. That was like the ultimate, like,
The thing is, though, the
handheld.
PSP didn't bomb. That's just it. It was a really solid alternative to the Game Boy Advance and the DS.
Sales-wise, it kind of got stomped.
But it was going to get stomped during that time, though.
But that's just releasing a handheld console that isn't Nintendo. Like, if you can't play Pokemon on the motherfucker, it's just not going to do well.
Yeah.
That's just the sad truth of it, right? And I wanted the PSP to do well because I really liked it, and the same thing with the Vita, but it's just not the way that the handheld market works. Out of 10, I got to say I'm a little disappointed because I think that this could have been a top 5. And I'm going to give it a 5.
Ooh.
That's a bit of a low number. I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it's an okay list. It's just some choices on here I wouldn't put on. Some choices that are on here, and some choices that aren't on here should be on this list.
Well, that's why I'm saying I basically agree with half the list. I think that a lot of it is like you're telling me the Lynx is good. Like, come on,
Well,
the N-Gage.
Well, I don't know about the N-Gage.
Yeah, come on.
Like saying the Gamecom.
Gamecom, babe. Nobody even remembers the Gamecom. Jesse,
I do, and I'll tell you why.
Because of those terrible commercials.
To it.
That's right, there was. What are those terrible commercials with that little guy that just screamed at you and called you an idiot?
This thing has more video games than you guys have brain cells.
Yeah. Jesse, we need your score.
Oh, I'll split it a little bit and say 7. And for the record, I do really miss my Dreamcast. It was stolen from me too early.
That's my Dreamcast just stopped working. Well, I kind of broke it, not on purpose, but,
Yeah, my Dreamcast it wouldn't work if the lid was closed.
Ooh, that sucks.
Oh.
Riddle sent 10 newspaper comics that need to die. This is Riddle's own list, so...
Is one of them Dilbert?
Riddle, you wrote 10, but you only put 9 on the list. Like, it starts with number 9. Okay, so it's 9 newspaper comics that need to die. Number 9 is Garfield. Look, there were probably about 100 Garfield strips that were good. Unfortunately, there's been about 7,000 Garfield strips.
Okay, I actually did read Garfield, a little bit of Garfield a few years back, and there was this period where it was actually kind of funny, and then it stopped being funny again.
Do you know why that happens? Because he starts recycling the strips. He just redraws old strips. And some of them were good.
Funny, but I think also, there was this arc where he was dating the fat lady, he finally managed, he finally managed to get with the fat lady.
Yeah, he wound up marrying her. But, he sometimes he'll just reprint a strip from the 80s and you'll be like, that's hilarious. And it's like, yeah, because it was from 1983, Number 8 is Broomhilda, which I've never heard of that one.
Oh, it's just about a witch doing, witchy things.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Number 7 is BC. BC is the weirdest shit because it's a comic strip about these weird cavemen guys, but it's written by this, weird, Christian fundamentalist dude.
I did not know that part.
It explains a few things, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I hate that comic.
It's pretty fucking bad, yeah.
Eh.
Also, in the Garfield comic where John drinks dog jizz. Let's not forget that happened. He drank what was in a coffee cup, and then the vet told him, congratulations, you're going to have puppies. Why was it in a coffee cup?
Wait, was that real?
Yes, that is a real comic strip.
Yeah, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to.
Yeah.
Oh, I asked.
Oh, and Alice is pointing out
Tell me about the jizz.
That BC is no longer written by a Christian fundy. It's written by his son. But whatever.
Fundy.
Number 6, For Better or For Worse. There was a period about maybe 10 or 15 years ago where this comic was really, really good, and then all of a sudden it became really, really bad.
Okay, for better or for worse, actually ended like 15 years ago. It's just a rerun now.
Well, I think they do the reruns, and Riddle doesn't know that they're reruns.
I actually like that comic. I mean, but no, it ended, and they should really just clear the space.
Number 5 is Born Loser, which I'm unfamiliar with.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Number 4 is Dennis the Menace, which honestly would still be amazing if it was like it was when it first started and he was a real shitty kid. You know? Instead of this lovable scam, you know, like Bart Simpson guy, you know, he was just like, there was one of the earliest strips where Dennis is like, you know, sitting on the floor writing something, and his dad says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm writing a list of people to bite."
Oh.
You know? Number 3 is Beetle Bailey. I think Beetle Bailey stopped being funny a long time ago. I gotta agree on that.
Beetle Bailey was never funny, but I mean, honestly, okay,
It
the
was
guy
funny
who
for a while.
originally did Beetle Bailey also did like some adult versions of the strip,
I've seen those. They're amazing.
and somehow they're even less funny.
Oh no! What's interesting is that Beetle Bailey started as a comic strip about a college student, and the whole Beetle joins the army thing was just this like gag that was supposed to run for a few weeks, and it has gone for decades.
Yeah.
He's been in the army as a private in basic training for like 40 years.
It doesn't age.
Number 2 is Family Circus.
I hate that.
I hate it so much. I can't stand Family Circus.
I just don't care.
It's just not. It's not only is it not funny, but it's sort of like aggressively unfunny.
Maybe that's the joke.
And number 1 is Dilbert. There was a time that Dilbert was really good, and then Scott Adams got divorced and lost his fucking mind.
Yeah, I heard about all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's only gotten worse.
This is missing since there's only 9 out of 10 here, we should probably like come up with like a 10th one to fit in here.
So we should come up with a 10th one? How about Marmaduke?
Marmaduke is pretty bad. I was going to suggest 9 Chickweed Lane.
I'm not familiar with that one. Oh, no, wait, I got it. Wait, no, I got it. Forget about Marmaduke and whatever you said. The Lockhorns. Get rid of that shit.
I don't know that one.
It's like this. It's like this boomer shit about the old married couple that hate each other. That's the joke.
Oh, that's terrible. I hate it.
Yeah.
9 Chickweed Lane is from a guy who is extremely horny in the most embarrassing way, and what blows my mind is that this stuff managed to get printed.
You know what else is really bad is oh shit! It just flew out of my mind. Fuck.
Womp womp.
Shit. Fuck. Ass. Fuck. Shit. Oh my god. What was the other thing I said? I said Lockhorns. It was something kind of along that line, and I couldn't. There's always Love Is. What you need is a comic strip called Love Is. It's about 2 naked 8-year-olds who are married. All right, moving along. Riddle also sent me this list from Time Magazine, which was see the top 12 zoo escapes. The problem is
these videos.
No, that's just pictures. But I just want to make sure. Okay, cool, because it's bugging me to subscribe to Time Magazine and fuck off with that shit. But I could.
We never did rate the comic.
Oh no, yeah. Out of 9, I got to give it like a 5. It's good, but there's a few that I'm unfamiliar with, so I can't really comment on.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it about. I want to say about a 7 because a couple of these strips I'm not familiar with, but I'm familiar with like all of them. But I disagree with for better or for worse. Like I think that's a good strip. It just needed to like.
It's also It's also already ended, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
I'm on board with the 5. 5 feels about right.
5 out of 9. It's not a bad score. It's above average. Okay, so see, I don't think this other list works because it's just giving me the names of animals that escaped from the zoo and like a whole fucking paragraph of info about it.
Is one of them a werebear?
No, unfortunately not. No, but so I'm gonna skip that one, Riddle. But let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Oh, EB Agent wrote a list themselves, not numbered or anything, but things ruined by Kevin Spacey.
Oh no.
And this is based on, we were talking about that there is somebody out there who had a list of things ruined by Bill Cosby.
Oh.
So this is things ruined by Kevin Spacey.
There we go.
So House of Cards.
Yeah.
God, I was so into this show too, and then after that happened, I couldn't even watch the last 2 seasons.
Isn't he not even in them?
He's not in the last season, but there was one season that he was in that I didn't see.
Oh.
Because it had already been out, but I just hadn't got around to it, and then we found out that he's a monster, and I was like, oh,
Piss.
yeah. Austin Powers and Goldmember, you know, his screen time in that is like 4 seconds.
Oh no, that movie is ruined.
Yeah, I think you can skip past that part, right? L.A. Law, was he in L.A. Law? I never watched that. I guess he must have been. 7. Wow.
Oh no! Yeah.
7. Yeah.
No, I didn't know he was in that.
He was the dude.
He's the killer dude.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that set it all up.
Yeah. American Beauty. Really love this movie, but God, is it cringy now, especially since like a big part of the movie is him falling in love with a teenager.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt. Best Picture. Who?
That's a rough one. Time to Kill. That's another one on here. The Usual Suspects. Fantastic film. Unwatchable now. Unwatchable. The Reputation of the Gay Community. You know what? I think the gay community can rise past Kevin Spacey.
They've had to rise over a lot of things.
Yeah. Anthony Rapp's Childhood. Oof.
Big oof.
And finally, The Lives of Who Knows How Many Others.
Yikes.
Just add another one on here, just my own personal, and another film that I really enjoyed that he was in that I couldn't watch anymore is The Negotiator with him and Samuel L. Jackson.
Apex.
I've never seen K-Pax.
Yeah.
Superman.
And that Call of Duty game too.
Yeah. Yo, advanced. Yeah, but you get to kill him in that, so.
Yeah, he died the Disney villain death. Who knows what actually happened to him?
Oh, come on. I mean, he's no surviving that. You know, he didn't die the Disney, because that was totally Die Hard at the end.
Okay,
Right?
fair.
That's Die Hard. Let's be real. He died the, what was the character's name? Shit. In Die Hard, the fucking Alan Rickman. You know what though? A+. He did ruin all these things, except for maybe Goldmember. I think Mike Myers might have ruined that already.
Yeah. So yeah, nines all around.
No, I said A+, but okay.
Or A+, or sorry, yeah, fuck. How many?
Because it wasn't
Whatever.
numbered. It wasn't numbered.
I'm still thinking of that other list.
I guess.
Hans Gruber was the name of the guy. That's Alice pointed it out. Couldn't remember it. Let's see. I gotta scroll down a little. Okay, so EB sends 15 artists who hated their own hit songs.
I can believe this probably.
This should be funny, right?
I bet Kurt Cobain, probably.
That's the first one on here.
Nice.
Nirvana hated the song Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Played enough times.
Yeah. He said, I can barely get through Teen Spirit. I wanted to throw my guitar down and walk away. So, you know, Kurt Cobain was never okay with popularity.
No.
You know. Also, the whole joke about Smells Like Teen Spirit was somebody, and I think it might have been his wife, wrote something on a wall that says Kurt smells like Teen Spirit, and he thought it was like really cool because it thought that he meant that it was totally punk rock and with the youth and everything. He didn't know it was deodorant.
I thought it was like a perfume that people smelled on him or something like that called Teen Spirit.
No, there's a deodorant called Teen Spirit. And
okay.
So I think it was his wife, Courtney Love, that was making fun of him, and she wrote that on the wall, and he took it the wrong way. He thought it was like, you know.
Something deep.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Guns N' Roses hated Sweet Child of Mine.
Good, so do I.
You don't like that song?
No.
Right. What's your problem with Sweet Child of Mine?
I don't know. I probably just heard it too many times when I was a kid.
That'll do it. It was specifically Slash who hated it. So, there you go. Let's see. Led Zeppelin hated Stairway to Heaven. It's only their biggest song, right?
Yeah, but you like I said, you play it enough times, you're gonna be like, "Fuck this again."
Yeah, I mean, especially it's a long song and it's all anybody wants to hear. You know, it can get like, hey, we have other songs. You know, Metallica.
Think more about Lord of the Rings.
Metallica hates Escape. Really? First of all, that's not really a hit song.
Maybe they hate it for another reason.
Well, yeah, but it's not. It's not really like Escape. June, help me out here. Was Escape a big hit or not? I didn't think it was.
I barely remember it.
That's that one they're like, out for my own, out to be free. On Ride the Lightning. It's not their best song, but I don't know why they would hate it, but it's also not a hit though. Like if
let's look at the lyrics.
Like
maybe because the maybe it was the lyrics he didn't like.
Well, yeah. Regardless, I'm just saying that the list is supposed to be hit songs, and Escape is a weird sort of album track that nobody ever thinks about.
Deep cut.
Well, maybe this article just kind of like treats any song by a hit band as a hit song.
Maybe, yeah, because Metallica's big, But it's like if they said they hated Enter Sandman, that would be one thing, All right,
yeah.
Well, The Who hated Pinball Wizard. There's a shock, right?
Yeah.
They wrote that song really fast and jammed it onto an album that was already a concept album, and it really didn't belong on there, but they jammed it on there specifically to get a good review from a music critic that hated them because he was into pinball.
Then they made a whole musical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but yeah, Tommy doesn't have anything to do with pinball. It's just that one song,
Yeah.
Let's see. The Beastie Boys hate Fight for Your Right to Party. And this is
probably
actually
because it's misconstrued.
It is completely misconstrued. People think that it's like a real party anthem, and they were actually making fun of douchey white guys who think like that. They were making fun of that kind of thing.
Yeah, like you're supposed to think sarcasm throughout the whole song.
Yeah, and nobody got it. Nobody understood it. All right. Dio hated Rainbow in the Dark.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I know that one.
I like that song.
Well, Dio hated it. He said, I absolutely hated that song. I hated that song in context to what I was trying to accomplish with the album. Okay.
Which is...
Well, he didn't go into details there, but I'm guessing it just didn't fit in with his vision of the Holy Diver album. It's a good song. It seems he's just unsatisfied with it. Queen hated Don't Stop Me Now.
Oh, huh.
Interesting. Apparently it was because people took it the wrong way. And
I guess I never really thought about the song.
And
I just hear it in like commercials and shit.
Yeah, Brian May hated it specifically because he thought it celebrated the hedonistic lifestyle that killed Freddie.
Oh, yeah.
So I can understand that. Evanescence hated My Immortal. Not only is that their biggest hit song, I think it's their only hit song.
Wait. Something just hit me. Is this where that infamous fanfic gets its name from?
Yes.
Oh,
okay, first of all, that explains so much. Second of all, that explains so fucking much.
But
what about that Wake Me Up Inside song?
Oh, yeah, that was a hit, yeah. That was a good one. I don't forget what it's called, though. It might just be called Wake Me Up Inside.
Can't wake up.
Bring Me to Life. EB just put it in the chat. Here's one that we all saw coming. Radiohead hates the song Creep. And what's interesting is, that like right before the chorus kicks in, that weird that the guitar does?
Yeah.
The guitarist actually put that in the song because he hated it. And he wanted to ruin the song.
Wow, well, whoops.
Didn't work. And I happen to know that Radiohead... There's only like a sentence here. I just know the Radiohead deep lore. They will get the opening act to play it for them so that they won't be expected to play it at their shows.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Do they not like it just because they moved beyond that style of music or whatever?
They hated it from the moment they were writing it. They just thought it sucked.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, well.
Yeah. Oasis, you're a fan of them, right?
Oh yeah.
Jesse, they hate Wonderwall, but then again, I think they also hate all of their songs and each other.
The whole catalog, just throw it out.
I think they hate everything.
Let's just become a Blur cover song band.
Oh God. Warrant hates cherry pie.
Well, I can't say I blame them. I hate cherry pie too.
I don't know. It's pretty delicious, guys.
Well, first of all, I don't like cherries.
Oh, it's my favorite fruit.
June's my favorite fruit. No, but seriously, Janny Lane says, I could shoot myself in the head for writing that song. Damn, that's harsh.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel.
Oh.
Both Aerosmith and Run DMC hate their cover of Walk This Way.
But it broke down so many musical walls.
It really didn't.
Like, literally, like in the music video, right? Like MTV always told you every 5 minutes.
Oh, when pop-up video came on, you know.
Yeah.
Apparently Run DMC did warm up to it after a while.
Hope so. Probably made them $1.
So EB says you don't pay to see Oasis in concert, you pay to see how long it takes the Gallagher brothers to start beating the shit out of each other.
I went to an Oasis concert, and halfway through the concert, the whole band left because Noel and Liam started arguing on stage, and then Noel did like 2 acoustic songs, and then they came back out.
Oh, at least they came back.
Yeah.
Heart, the band Heart, they hate All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You. I think we all hate that one, to be honest.
Take or leave it.
It's pretty bad. Speaking of songs that everybody hates, REM hates Shiny Happy People.
Is it because that one's misconstrued too?
No, it's exactly what it seems like, and that's why they hate it. So, that's the last one there. So, you like it, Evie? Really? Shiny Happy People?
It has its place sometimes. Not going to listen to it over and over.
I think part of my reason for hating it is that it's so unlike what makes REM good or what made them good before they started to suck. And the other thing is I detest the B-52s. And that's a crossover song there. But anyway, how many were these? Was this numbered? This is not numbered, so we'll give it a letter grade, and I'm going to say A. Nope, no sticks come sail away. That wasn't on here.
B+.
June?
I'm not gonna give it an A. It seems like a good list.
Hey!
Although,
decent.
actually, no. I'm gonna subtract a letter grade because of that business with Metallica. Why that song?
Yeah, that's why it wasn't an A+ for me, because Escape is not it's such a weird choice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Alice is going to make us all feel old right now. Although I guess that this is a little out of date because this is from last November, but it's 30 overlooked albums from 1992 that are turning 30.
I don't need a list to make me feel old.
Have turned 30 since this is literally from last. I mean, we haven't gotten to do list critics in a little while. This is from November, but okay. So these are 30 albums that turned 30 in they came out in 1992.
Here we go.
Okay. Alice in Chains' Sap, that was an EP that was like kind of like one of their first big releases. They had already had an album out, but this EP really put them on the map.
I'm not familiar enough with their work.
Oh, I just played them on Music Appreciation not too long ago. I played Dirt and Sap, the EP, and also their other EP, which was, what was that called? Jar of Flies, I played. So you missed out there.
Boy, did I.
The B-52's Good Stuff came out. I don't think there might have been very much good stuff on that album, but
in name only, am I right?
Yeah, but the B-52's a let though.
If you say so.
I'm gonna do Parkland's Ride. I'm okay with that.
Oh, I'm good with that. I just think their music sucks. Actually, you know what it is? Their music doesn't even suck. I think that the singers can't sing. That's what it really comes down to.
Like, does he sing, or does he just kind of sing?
Well, you got the woman that's like nasally sort of, and then you got this guy that's just doing this.
Yep.
hello, yes, the B-52s. Like, he's just talking loudly. David Byrne's Uh-Oh came out then. I'm not too familiar with his work, to be honest. I know who he is, but that's about it.
I'm not big on his solo stuff.
I mean, he was in the Talking Heads, and that's all anybody cares about anyway. Catherine Wheel's album Ferment came out, for the people that remember Catherine Wheel.
No idea.
Come. There's a band called Come. Like C-O-M-E, but still, it's Come. I'm going to hit the nut button. It's been hit. They had an album called 1111. Let's see. Crackers' self-titled album came out. Oh, man. Do you guys remember this? This was weird indie rock that was popular for all of 5 seconds.
A lot of these aren't ringing any bells.
Well, they're supposed to be overlooked albums, remember?
Overlooked and 30 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Def Leppard's Adrenalize came out then. Def Leppard wasn't super popular in the 90s.
No, hair metal was on its way out.
Unfortunately, they just got slammed. Guided by Voices Propeller. Never heard of the band or album.
I actually have heard Guided by Voices. You know the
Are they good?
You know the Doom map sets, Back to Saturn X.
Yeah.
All of the level names and the map set's name itself are all Guided by Voices songs.
Go figure. That's dedication. In Excess, their album Welcome to Wherever You Are came out then.
I know some of their earlier stuff, but not anything from 92.
Everybody knows their hits, you know. The Jesus and Mary Chain is an album. Their album Honey's Dead came out. There's a band that I think only existed in 1992. They had a big tour and they had an album and then they just vanished.
They just evaporated.
Yeah, then whatever happened.
They were like the embodiment of like early 90s alt rock.
Very much so, yes. L7 had a album called Bricks Are Heavy. Deep thoughts right there.
L7 is pretty good though. It's like female led. Rock.
I'm pretty familiar with them because they were on Beavis and Butthead a few times, so I knew some of their.
They were on Grand Theft Auto too.
Yeah. Speaking of female-led sort of grunge rock from the early 90s, Lush's album Spooky came out then.
Spoopy.
3 Spoopy, 5 me. Material Issue had an album called Destination Universe, which not my kind of thing, to be honest.
Hope they got there.
Yeah. The Mighty Mighty Bosstones album More Noise and Other Disturbances came out then.
Oh, yeah. I know that one.
I don't understand the Mighty Mighty Bosstones because there's like 12 of them, and I don't understand the function that they all have. Like, there's a guy, like, because I've seen them perform live on, like, you know, like talk shows and shit, and there's a guy that doesn't sing and doesn't play an instrument. He kind of dances like he's doing this running in place thing.
He's skanking. He's the skanker of the band.
He just runs in place on, and I just like, who does he do? What is his deal, right? I looked it up once, and apparently he's the producer.
Yeah, so he just stuck himself in the band and was like, I'm going to dance,
so
bitches.
The producer's like, well, I want to be on stage. And they're like, why? You're not on the record. He's like, well, who's the producer? And you're like, well, what are you going to do? Like, I'll just do this. And he starts just jogging in place, you know?
That reminds me of that joke from Footnick where one of the characters comes in and he's talking about how his mom tells him that just because he doesn't rap, that means he's not a rapper, and he's like, what?
Okay.
What?
Okay, No Doubt's self-titled album came out in 92. This was well before they became popular.
And it's got some weird tracks on it if you ever give it a listen. I listened to it before.
Back when they were more aggressively ska.
And not even good ska.
Yeah, I think Tragic Kingdom was the big breakout for them, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Public Image Limited have the album called That What Is Not, which the album cover's making me uncomfortable, so I'm going to scroll past that.
Ain't like it is, but it do.
They don't think it'd be like it is, but it do. Jonathan Richman had an album called I, Jonathan, which the album covers a picture of him that looks like it's on a database of people you should avoid. Yeah. I mean, this is just one of those many weirdos that was in the Velvet Underground and probably should have stayed there.
Hey.
All right, Rollins Band had their album "The End of Silence" come out. Oh man, Rollins Band that was they were hot for like 5 minutes, right?
Could never really get into them,
Yeah.
though. I don't know.
They had some fucking kick-ass songs, and then Henry Rollins just he tried to do too many different things at once because he was acting and he was doing spoken word albums and he had another band and
his comedy.
The comedy, which was not funny, and
no,
but like
he was in Johnny Mnemonic, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was the doctor. I remember when we were watching it, I said something like, "Look at this Henry Rollins looking motherfucker," and then you were like, "Wait a minute, I think that is Henry Rollins," and we looked it up, and it was. Yep, he has a poetry book. I mean, the dude just does everything. But honestly, I think out of all the things he did, my favorite was the Rollins Band. Johnny Mnemonic was the film, Sarah. Sloan had a band called Sloan had an album called Smeared. You know, for when June comes in the room and says, "Smearing it on my chest."
Smearing it on my chest.
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Peach Guy. We're actually talking about songs from 1992 specifically, though. Spiritualized had an album called Laser Guided Melodies, which I guess if you want your melodies delivered post haste,
pew pew,
you can do that. I've never heard of them. I guess they're psychedelic. Izzy Stradlin and the Juju Hounds had an album of the same name. First of all, the least talented member of Guns N' Roses decides to make his own band and calls it Izzy Stradlin and the Juju Hounds.
Must have had a reason.
Well, Juju, what was he, hungry and he was thinking of jujubes? What does that even mean?
Why would you eat jujubes? They're nasty.
Yeah.
I guess he had to be hungry.
The Sugar Cubes had an album called Stick Around for Joy. I guess you should stick around if you're into joy.
Still waiting.
Right? Yeah. Television had their self-titled album come out then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Therapy, with a question mark, that's the name of the band. They had an album called Nurse. This is one of those bands that I think only existed on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you put I've heard this album, and it starts with somebody going, "Here I am, motherfuckers." And it's just like, okay, I'm already laughing, right? They Might Be Giants had their album Apollo 18 that year.
They're better than I ever realized.
They're very good. They're very good. I remember we were watching home movies in the cartoon club, and they had a cameo, and EB was trying to remember who they were, and it was like, I think these two guys, they're like musicians, and I'm like, well, the other guy's a musician too, and she's like, yeah, they're like, yeah, but you know what I mean. I said, yeah, good musicians, right? And EB's like, yeah, and I looked it up, and I was like, They Might Be Giants. Tool had an EP out called Opiate. You know, I got to do it. Ready? I'm doing it. Tool. Yeah, I hate Tool actually. They suck. Suzanne Vega had an album called 99.9 Fahrenheit.
It's like hot.
Yeah, I'm so hot, yeah. The Wallflowers had their self-titled album out that year.
Oh, a band I know.
They were also hot for like 10 minutes, right? Like they released a couple of albums that were really good. They were touring, and then they just fucking dropped off the face of the planet. Just gone.
Evaporated again.
Yeah. XTC had their album Non-Such.
What's the song they do that everybody knows? I'm trying to.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really.
Was it Unbelievable? Listen. Is that them?
I think so. Yeah, that was the last one on the list. Well, these certainly are 30 overlooked albums, right?
Way overlooked.
But that was sort of the point, right? And we do feel sufficiently old, I think. So out of 30,
I never even heard of like most of these albums.
Yeah, but I think that's a good thing because it was supposed to be. This was from Spin, by the way. It was supposed to be obscure stuff on there. No, Ministry was not on there. I'm not even sure that Ministry had an album in '92. I'll look it up for you though. But what do you think out of 30? I'm gonna give it like a 26.
27.
27.
I'll just give it a. Since I'd never heard of like most of these, I'm just gonna give it a straight 30.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Perfect score.
Oh, Ministry did have an album in '92. That was Psalm 69. So there.
Nice.
I remember that.
Nice.
Also, I just want to make a comment that about Tool. There's no reason to listen to Tool now when we have ISIS.
That's real though. There's a lot of bands like that. Like, why do we have this? Right? We have this other thing, right? Okay. Remember when Judas Priest had their big comeback album Nostradamus, and I wrote that review where I said, "Well, Iced Earth can just go away now." I was talking to June. So, June.
What?
Remember when Judas Priest had their big comeback album, and I wrote that review where I said, "Well, Iced Earth can just go away now." And you were like, "That's harsh, but true."
Yeah.
And then they didn't, and we found out that the guitarist was a chud.
Oh no!
You know what? That wasn't even a surprise because I found out like he even left a band for a little while after 9/11 to become a cop.
Yeah. And he had another band, I forget what they were called, but he had like a secondary project that was all like chud metal. But like, when we say he's a chud, like, Jesse, he was actually at January 6th.
Like, you spotted him?
Well, everybody spotted him. He was one. He got arrested.
Well, shit.
Yeah, he's in jail now.
Yeah, I made a meme
where he belongs.
Like, not long after January 6th. It was like that Domino's meme. And it had like the little domino was what was the name of that really cringy album?
The Glorious Burden.
Yeah, what would the name of the 9/11 song?
Oh, the song. Okay, because the Glorious Burden was pretty good. But when the eagle cries.
Yeah. Okay. The little domino was written. On it was I had to cash in the music video for When the Eagle Cried, and then the really big domino was the whole January 6th thing.
Yeah, so it was like this domino effect that starts with they release that album, and then it ends with a bunch of people trying to overthrow the government.
Whoa.
Yeah, When the Eagle Cried was such a bad song, and the video was even worse.
You know what's weird? It's like the rest of the album is actually pretty good. Like, it's not amazing. It's not their best work, but God, that song is horrible.
Is it very pro-America?
Oh my God. It's called When the Eagle Cries, and it's about 9/11. I mean, you could figure everything you need to know is right there. You don't need to hear it, and you don't want to hear it because it's bad.
I actually sampled it for the Zombie Sneak Attack song.
Oh, yeah.
9/11.
Are we allowed to joke about this yet? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Riddle sent in their top 8 crossover games that they want. So, crossovers between video games that Riddle is looking for.
Let's play Smash.
Yeah. Number 8, Professor Layton and Batman in a puzzle game. Well, look,
I think Batman will beat him to the punch.
Well, yeah, but that's a cool idea though. Like, what if it's like Batman's not in it though? Like, instead of it, like Batman's like, I don't know, like off on fucking Planet X or some shit, and Professor Layton has to solve like all these crimes in Gotham.
Oh no!
Right, that would be cool. But I mean, this could happen. I mean, Professor Layton already had a crossover with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, so there's a little bit of a. It could happen, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, come on, DC.
I think that would be cool. Number 7, Street Fighter with Mortal Kombat. So
everybody wants it.
Everybody wants it except for Capcom.
Yeah, Capcom.
It will never happen. Ed Boon has said that this is his dream project. He's always wanted to happen. He wants to do it. And basically what it comes down to is they're not going to release a game where you could rip Chun-Li's head off.
Yeah.
What if they just, I don't know, like T for teen it?
They tried that. They did Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, which was, by the way, a good game, but the fans just weren't interested. Oh, it's toned down, it's woke, whatever, you know. So people are just weird about that. I would love it, though. It's never going to happen, but I would absolutely love it.
I'll play it.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with Castlevania. How?
I mean, Ninja Turtles have crossed over with Batman.
Yeah, but Castlevania?
I mean, if anything would cross over with Castlevania, it would be like Ninja Gaiden or something, right?
Yeah,
Hey, that'd be cool.
that would be
I'd try
actually
that.
that would be that would be bitchin'.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I like that idea better than the Ninja Turtle. It's like, can you imagine just like pick your favorite turtle, walking up the staircase, and then there's Dracula, and he's like die monster, you totally don't belong in this world, dude. Cowabunga. Like it. Come on, nah. Okay,
Okay, now I
If you-
want it
if
to
you
happen just for that.
number
But
5.
if you take Ryu and you put him in like any Castlevania game, it would kind of work.
No, Ryu Hayabusa in Castlevania would be cool. Okay, number 5 is a DC and Marvel fighting game. Look, we've had Marvel fighting games, we've had DC fighting games. Let's just make it happen, right?
I think this might have been more likely to happen 20 to 30 years ago, but it's never going to happen now.
Like when they did that. What was that? That series of comics where they crossed,
Marvel versus DC.
like
yeah.
crossed over in like the early '90s or something.
It could possibly happen. I would want like NetherRealm Studios to do it because they they already made 2 really good DC fighting games. Yeah, it's a good idea. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I would love it. Let's see. Number 4 is Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. So they're so fundamentally different, but I'm still like attracted to the game, except that they did it and it was called Chrono Trigger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Riddle did say there could be an RPG or a fighting game, and I think a fighting game would work. I mean, they did it with Final Fantasy.
Well, here's the thing. There actually is a Dragon Quest Final Fantasy crossover, and it is a board game. So.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
There you go. It was only released in Japan. It was one of the Fortune Street games, and the one that we did get was Dragon Quest and Mario. So, that's pretty weird. That's pretty weird, right? Yeah, Fortune Street, Boom Street, Itadaki Street, whatever you want to call it. Number 3, Super Mario Galaxy game where the galaxies are other franchises. So basically, you want the Super Mario Brothers Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, I guess it would be
I'd
that.
play it.
Yeah, that'd be
Or
cool.
like
Probably not, but
Smash Brothers, but a platformer.
Basically, it's Smash Brothers as a platformer. Yeah, it's like you're controlling Mario, and then all of a sudden you're in like Metroid, And it's like I'm used to jumping on a Goomba, so what's this some jellyfish sucking my brains out? Okay, how about Halo and Doom?
we had that. It's called Marathon.
Well, yeah, but that predates Halo, and let's be real,
I
it's
know, I'm
more
just
like
joking.
Doom. No, but I mean, like, can you imagine? I think this would be cool, especially. I don't know. I think the modern Doom Slayer and then like the Master Chief, like, I could see him in like like trying to talk to him, like, so you're into like ripping things apart, and Doom Slayer doesn't say shit, because he's like Jason Voorhees, he doesn't talk. It's like, Cortana, this guy's freaking me out. I would be into it. I mean, basically, just think of it as a Halo game with hell.
I mean, it sounds like a good idea.
And especially because if you think of, like, I know it's not everybody's favorite game in the series, but I have to mention Doom 3 because one of the big bosses was this is called the Guardian of Hell. It was the boss of the Hell part of the game, and the concept of creating it, according to id Software, was this is a Satan analog for the dinosaurs. This is something the dinosaurs would have been terrified of. Now imagine what the Flood would have been terrified of, or what hell is like for the Covenant.
Oh yeah.
And then you got some cool designs that you can come up with, So I would be all over that.
Some H.R. Geiger shit.
Okay, and the number 1 pick would be this is the most Riddle number 1 pick I've ever seen in Ace Attorney and Danganronpa. That has got to be the most Riddle thing I've ever heard. Of course, it's Riddle's number 1 because they are a huge fan of Danganronpa and Ace Attorney. I don't know much about either of them, but it could happen.
I played a lot of the Ace Attorney games, but none of the Danganronpa games.
I love
really.
to say it, you're like Danganronpa.
Well,
Okay. Okay, I think maybe Moogle put a bunch in here, and I think we have time for one of them. So let's do that. So the first one here is from GameFAQs.com. Top 10 movies that desperately need an arcade beat 'em up adaptation. Why
Street
is
Fighter.
this? Well, okay, so yeah, no. So number 10 is Lethal Weapon. They did that on the NES, by the way. It's already a thing.
Like a fighting game?
No, a beat 'em like a beat 'em up, like a Double Dragon kind of thing. Like
I don't know why I was thinking fighting game. Yeah, beat 'em up,
No.
right.
They already did that. They did Lethal Weapon as a beat 'em up. It was a perfectly serviceable game, we'll say. There was nothing wrong with it. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy. I think, honestly, Guardians of the Galaxy as an arcade-style beat-em-up would be probably a lot more fun than whatever that crap that Square Enix did recently.
Oh god.
What kind of game was that?
It was a Guardians of the Galaxy game where you only get to be one of them, and it's all about trying to, stop them from bitching at each other.
Oh,
Like you can only play as Chris Pratt. Who cares?
He's stomping Koopas.
God. Number 8, Pirates of the Caribbean. You could tell this list is old because it was written at a point that anyone gave a shit about Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
But then again, if Guardians of the Galaxy is on here, it can't be that old. So maybe this person's just a weirdo.
Or what if that's like the way to revitalize pirates,
As a beat 'em, I could see it. I mean, that's the thing about. By the way, this was written in 2021, so it's not that old. But hey, Kay,
That's even sadder.
it's very sad to be thinking about. Let's have a fucking beat 'em up based on. I can't even say it. Pirates of the Caribbean in 2021. I don't know. That's a little weird, right? Number 7, Men in Black. Man, there have been a bunch of Men in Black video games, and they have universally been terrible.
Yeah,
But
I think I played a Game Boy Advance one.
Oh, that one was really bad. I don't think I don't think Men in Black works because Men in Black should be a freaking shooting game. Don't be shooting aliens. Come on,
Like imagine if one of the levels was like going underground in the subway, stopping that big subway worm thing.
Okay.
be fun.
Now this is sad because number 6 is Tango and Cash. That's sad.
Oh well.
Why?
That's even more dated than Lethal Weapon. Number 5 is Double Impact, which, look, we've tried to get Jean-Claude Van Damme into video games. It didn't work out, but it did give us Mortal Kombat. So maybe another failed, Van Damme game would give us something else that's really fun.
What if you just did Bloodsport?
That's what led to Mortal Kombat. It was supposed to be a Bloodsport game. Number 4 is Ghostbusters. I don't see how Ghostbusters works as a beat 'em up.
Like maybe more something along the lines of Bucky O'Hare. Remember the arcade? You could shoot things.
I don't know. I think that if you're gonna make like Ghostbusters into sort of a retro arcade game sort of thing, I think that the template you would use would be something like Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Oh,
Yeah.
like the new Ghostbusters 2 on NES.
No, I'm starting to think whoever wrote this list hasn't seen a movie made in the last 15 years.
They saw Guardians of the Galaxy and that's it, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know, I'll go see this talking raccoon movie everybody's talking about. Number 3 is this is an old movie, but this is a fantastic idea for a beat 'em up, is Big Trouble in Little China.
That is one I actually haven't seen.
It's an old kung fu movie. It's funny. I think that could be a lot of fun. Definitely do that.
It's an old John Carpenter movie, but it's one that I haven't seen yet. I've seen most of his movies, but it's viewed out.
Number 2 is Lord of the Rings, which, I mean, if we're expanding that to be like a hack and slash, I could see that. Right?
You could do a Golden Axe type deal.
Yeah, like Golden Axe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I think they basically did do that on Game Boy Advance, but I could see like a more modern version of that, yeah. And number 1 is the Avengers. Once again, they could create something a lot better than that crap that Square Enix cooked up.
Wait, isn't there an Avengers?
Yeah. There was an Avengers arcade beat 'em up.
Or beat 'em up, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd want like a more modern one where the villains are a little better than Trick Shot and Melter and all kinds of crap like that. Like, let us fight Thanos at the end, Yeah, Avengers could be a great beat 'em up if it was like modeled after something, I know this sounds weird, but imagine if it was like the Scott Pilgrim game.
Oh yeah,
You
that'd
know,
be fun.
the crazy arcade pixely nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Which is completely bonkers. It's a playing on more than like 2 people.
Yep.
It's like a River City Ransom style kind of.
Yes, something like that.
Very much
right?
that, yeah.
Very much.
Yeah.
Or I guess the modern version would be River City Girls, because that's the spin-off that made everybody forget that there was an old series there.
Yeah, they even sequelized it recently, I think.
That's right. There is a River City Girls too. Out of 10, God, this went to some weird places, but there were some good ideas in here. It's just that like Tango and Cash, and some of these are just weird. I'm gonna out of 10, 7.
I'm with you on the 7. I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4, and a lot of that because pick a recent movie that wasn't Marvel, for the love of God.
I mean, the only 2 recent movies were Marvel movies. But there's nothing wrong.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with being into old movies, though.
No,
Yeah.
there isn't.
But,
But
I mean, like-
there are plenty of recent movies, but sometimes I feel like this guy is like frozen in time in like 1997.
But let me ask you a question though. What is like? I just realized. This is not related, but that 8th had given an unofficial 9th one to Riddle's List, which was 8th has said this on stream a few terms. Hydern from King of Fighters beats up the entire Street Fighter universe. Just want to throw that out there. So, but anyway, what is a movie recently that you think would make a good beat 'em up though?
Oh God, no, I'd have to think about it.
I got one in my head, and you're gonna laugh, but you know it's real. You know it's true.
Let's hear it.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
That's what I was gonna say.
No, I was thinking that myself.
Yeah, it's the perfect movie to be a video game.
Dude,
It's
hot
obvious.
dog fingers out of your hand.
It's so wacky, and all the different like powers that you could get. I mean, I'm just saying that would be a really cool game. Plus, it's like become one of my favorite movies. So.
You can
here's
take it to
another
any
one.
place.
Okay.
It's coming from a different place.
Okay.
The Revenant.
Okay, but I don't think I think that's survival horror then, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's
I'm
not
just imagining one of the bosses being just a bear.
But they did that in The Simpsons. Why not, right? The Simpsons game had a bear in it. What about you, Jesse? Do you have like another one that you could mention?
I don't know. I was gonna say everything everywhere all at once.
I stole your answer.
Yeah.
Right. What about okay, not a beat 'em up, but how come there wasn't like a Mad Max Fury Road game? Like, come on.
Yeah, not
Got my left one.
on any console, like something.
How about a Citizen Kane beat 'em up, like Alice said, right?
There's a Citizen Kane RPG.
I know there is. Okay, but guys, we were going to call it quits because June, we have to go. June has to set up for Cartoon Club and whatnot. But let's not go anywhere just yet because we do have to do a raid. So I'm going to go over the schedule. I know I went over the schedule earlier. I'm going to go over the schedule again and let you guys know what's going on. Tomorrow night I will be live playing more of and possibly the end of Wonder Project J. Incredibly goofy game for the SNES. So don't miss that. Friday afternoon, more Morrowind for Steam. Saturday night, more Xenogears for PlayStation. Sunday night, more East 9 Monster Nox for for Steam. Monday afternoon, Street Fighter the movie for Sega Saturn. Tuesday night, we're going to be starting something new. We got Salt and Sanctuary for Steam coming up. And Wednesday afternoon, a week from today, I will be playing in the afternoon more Dragon Quest Builders for the Switch. Let's go over here and see who we have online that we could raid. Let's see. Who do we have on? We have not many people here, but I think we're going to raid Captain Retro. He's playing Final Fantasy IX, and he's always a fucking blast to raid. So let's raid Captain Retro. And how about the fact that this guy managed to get the name Captain Retro on Twitch, right?
Good for them.
He's a great guy. He's always really fun. He's playing Final Fantasy IX, so we're going to do that. Let me give you guys a raid call. All right. This is dumb, but I like dumb messages. Dumb messages make the best raid calls. Guys, there's your raid message. Copy that. Paste it as we head into Captain Retro's stream. He's going to hit us with that rap song. That's his intro. It's pretty hilarious. He's got 2 different versions. I don't know which one we'll hear. But we'll head over there. I'll see you guys on his stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Wonder Project J. I'll see you guys on Discord and just around in general. And away we go.